Hello everybody. Today we're going to make something called ants climbing a tree. And we want to start with this vermicelli noodle made from mung beans. Dry white noodle, looks like plastic, feels like plastic. We want to put this amount of noodle, which is half of one of these packs. That's enough for one of your recipes here. Half of that pack right here. I've boiled water, turned it off, and taken it off the element. I'm going to take all these noodles, I'm going to put them in that hot water, and you want to make sure that they are covered by at least 1 inch of water. Leave them in there for 20 minutes to soak. So now we're going to make the marinade for our pork meat here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a 1/4 cup of soy sauce, which is 2 liquid ounces. I'm going to put it in my bowl with some sambal oelek. Same thing as sriracha sauce, except it's not so vinegary. And I've got some rice wine vinegar. Your recipe calls for rice wine, but we're going to use rice wine vinegar here. Whisk, mix, fork, scramble those 3 ingredients together, and then you want to add a tablespoon of cornstarch. Well, the recipe actually calls for a teaspoon. And mix that in. Next step is this one. Take the fork out, put your pork in, and mix it. You can choose to use your hands or get in there with a fork if you don't like the slime. Let this marinate for a good at least 30 minutes before you cook it in your frying pan. After your mung bean noodles have been soaking in hot water for 10 minutes, take a pair of scissors and cut these bad boys into sections maybe 3 inches long or so. It's just a few snips and you're done. And then what you want to do is you want to take these noodles out by straining them through a sieve or a colander over the sink, so you have only noodles. Here are the noodle in a sieve. I've strained them, my scissors here. They're also called a glass noodle because they're clear like glass. They're kind of cool. So our pork has been sitting in its marinade for 30 minutes now. I've got a frying pan on hot for a minute. I'm going to get 2 tablespoons of oil in there. Quickly swirl it around. It's hot, ladies and gentlemen. And now, spit or spatter, I'm going to add my pork. You want to stir constantly here for 2 minutes until this pork has cooked through. I'm going to cook this for a few minutes. The fat's going to come out. It's going to go brown, cook on us here. My pork is cooked. It's gone brown, turned from pink to brown. I'm going to take half a cup of chicken stock. I'm going to add it to my liquid. What this does is the chicken stock adds flavor, it cooks the pork a little more, and I'm going to cook this now, bring it to a boil, and the water's going to evaporate. The chicken stock is going to reduce and thicken up a little bit. I'm going to do this for 5 minutes or so. The meat has been cooking for a few minutes here. I'm going to add not all of my green onions, about 2/3 of them. Stir them in. I'm going to cook for 2 minutes longer here. So what you're after here is having a little bit of liquid in there. And it's quite thick as the chicken stock and pork juices have evaporated and thickened up. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take those glass mung bean noodles and I'm going to add them slowly here. Mix them in to my meat mixture. Add a few more. There we go. Got my noodles mixed in with my meat. I'm going to dish this up onto a nice plate here. What we have is ants climbing a tree, a dish from the Sichuan region in China. And we're going to add, to finish it off here, our green onions cut. And dig in, folks, it's delicious.